It's Dave Joe for the Boxing Voice. Pleased to be joined by John Hedges. How are you, John?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, happy to be here.
Good stuff. What a phenomenal week for you so far. Signed with Matchroom. Only I think about a month ago you signed with SJam as well. So how do you feel first of all with that?
Yeah, everything's been all of a sudden. To be fair, it's all been pretty fresh, and it's been exciting. It's been good times. Signing with SJam obviously last month. On my birthday, I turned with SJam, and then it all worked perfect. So I had a busy couple of months and a couple of weeks as well, and so the Eddie Hearn deal come about, and Sam sorted it. It was always who I wanted to go with, and now it's in place. So let's go.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, what have you been doing lockdown-wise in terms of training and stuff? Have you still got access to all the basics, the pads, the bags and everything else?
So my dad's a coach. So during lockdown, it's been lovely. I've had a little gym set up just before when we knew it was going to happen. Got a bag, a few weights what I needed, bench, speedball, and a good space to skip and keep fit. So I've got my dad for the pads as well, and I've been able to tick over pretty nicely.
Brilliant. And you've just said that it's been a dream working with Eddie. I mean, that's the person you wanted to sign with. What kind of conversations have you been having with Eddie? And were there any other offers on the table before you decided to turn pro with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom?
Yeah, there was obviously Sam Jones and Adam Morrell from SJAN. They've been sorting it all, but there was a couple of other offers what we got given from other promotional companies. And it was more to the fact that I wanted to go with Eddie. My mind was made up. He gave me a really good offer, and I didn't really need to look anywhere else. You know what I mean? I wouldn't insult him by looking somewhere else either. So as soon as I got given that offer, it was really all about just putting it in place and getting the deal done.
Good stuff. And you'll be campaigning at £168?
Yeah, 168 on boxing at super middle. So obviously, as people have been saying, I'm massive for the weight, 6'5". And I believe I'll move through the divisions, but hopefully I'll be staying at super middle for a little while. Got a good nutritionist, good team behind me, so things should be flying away. And
I've read somewhere as well that you're happy as well that Billy Joe Saunders is also in the stable. Callum Smith is also in the stable as well. It's fair to say with your height as well and your range, people could compare you to like Callum Smith. He's very tall for his range as well, isn't he? Very tall for his for the weight.
Yeah, Callum's a cracking fighter as well. Very big. I think he's 6'3", so he's slightly smaller than me, or 6'4", but near enough the same size. Very well made as well as an athlete. Cracking fighter. Billy Joe the same. Obviously, he's a lot smaller, but his boxing ability is unreal. I think that'll be a great clash for them to ever meet, actually. It's going to be. I'm in the best hands, best stable, and with the likes of Callum Smith, it's brilliant to be able to look up to someone who's taken over that division with that technique.
Do you think he is the best in the division, John?
Personally, I wouldn't say it's hard. They're all top fighters. Obviously, you've got Canelo, who still boxes at 168 when he drops down. Billy Joe, Callum Smith. I think it's a very hard division at the moment, and it's showing some top fighters. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. I know how Callum Smith makes his weight, that he doesn't move up eventually to light heavy and campaign there to finish his career.
Yeah, I mean, Canelo, he, light heavyweight, rehydrates sometimes over at, cruiserweight levels as well. Fights at middleweight, super middleweight. He's a master of all weights, isn't he, at the moment, Canelo, though?
Yeah, Canelo's, he's got to go down in history for the things he's done, turning pro at 15 and going on to what he's doing now. He's a massive fighter. He's a brilliant fighter as well. Not just aggressive, he's a classy fighter, classy boxer on the back foot as well. But he's took over all the weight divisions. But I believe when he goes, I think Callum Smith will still be there. Whether Billy Joe gets to fight with him, I'm not sure though.
Good stuff. And let's talk about your decorated amateur career. What was your record? Your final?
44 fights, 40 wins. Four national titles, including GB title. And then 7 international titles, boxing abroad from a country and a club.
Brilliant. I mean, that's a very, very impressive record. And do you think when you turned pro, the transition from amateur to pro is an easy one, or are there certain adjustments that you're going to be making?
There's definitely going to be adjustments I've got to make. It's a lot slower pace to what I'm used to. I was always a bit more on my toes, bouncier, but yeah, I'm going to start setting my feet, but I'm still going to keep my same style, like on the back foot, coming forward when I have to, just keep it nice and sharp and relying on my shot combinations and my efficiency.
Brilliant. And what are your thoughts on Eddie Hearn's fight camp? Are you liking that idea so far about boxing behind closed doors?
Yeah, if we've been talking about that actually, like if he offers me a fight behind closed doors, will I take it? But I think we're taking things slow. But obviously, if we're still in the lockdown situation, I'll jump at that, and I'm ready whenever. My last fight was behind closed doors, so I'm used to it, if it makes sense, and I'll buzz off anything.
Brilliant, and I've also read as well that Tyson Fury is one of your heroes, along with Billy Joe Saunders. Have you? Has he reached out to you, or has he given you any advice on turning pro?
I met Tyson a few years back actually, and I haven't got no contact yet since. But I know he's been in contact with Eddie and things like that, like about doing like a motivational interview and things like that. But yeah, I look up to him. I think he's a great role model, and what he's done for boxing is massive. And obviously coming from a travelling background as well, it was hard for him to do, but it's worked.
Yeah, I mean the win over Deontay Wilder has to go down in history as one of the best wins of a British fighter on foreign soil. You watched it. What are your thoughts on if they fight again? Do you think it will be a foregone conclusion with Tyson beating him straight away, or do you think there's something left in Deontay Wilder?
Deontay Wilder's one of them fighters. If he catches you, he can put an end early. So I think whoever you put Wilder in with, you can never really tell on the fight. But me personally, I believe Fury's got his number. Like Fury knows, Fury's in his head. I think Wilder has nightmares over him, kind of thing. And I think if they have another fight, I think it'll end the same, if not earlier. Though I think Fury will be straight on him, and he'll make Wilder fall to pieces.
Were you disappointed with the first fight's result? Do you think that was more for Tyson Fury to claim the victory as opposed to having the draw? Do you think
Definitely.
he did enough?
From watching it, I had him 3-4 rounds up. Even with the knockdown, he still won the fight. Do you know what I mean? And it was more that he sold another fight. It made a big thing for boxing, and that was the whole reason I believe they gave it a draw. But at the end of the day, it hasn't done Tyson no harm really. It kept him dedicated, kept him fit, and he went and proved himself by a great knockout.
Good stuff. What's it like working with Sam Jones?
Sam's a character. He's brilliant actually. He's very much like myself. Very outgoing, likes to chat. But yeah, he's brilliant at his job. A lot of people, I know he gets a lot of good publicity, and then he also gets a lot of people who have got nothing to do with boxing thinking he's an easy target sometimes. And you see it and you just think there's no need for it, because what he's done for me and other fighters so far in his stable is unbelievable. I don't think there's another man who could do the job he has done. Yeah,
it's a shame. I mean, one of the big cards that he was going to be involved in, unfortunately, it's been postponed. Would have been Dubois versus Joyce. So that's a bit of a shame there.
Big shame.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a travelling community as well. We've just spoke about the Gypsy King Tyson Fury. There's Ellis Hopkins, who's just signed a professional deal as well. There's Billy Joe Saunders. Is it fair to say as well that you want to be up there with the names of that of this great community?
Most definitely. I know all the youngins who have turned pro. Ellis Hopkins trained with Team England. Me and her made good mates. Dennis McCann was at Repton with him in the early days. So yeah, I'm mates with everyone as well. And where our community is so small, everyone stays in contact with everyone. So it's brilliant, yeah. And I can't wait just to show me skills and just make it on the big stage.
Yeah, it's really positive as well that there's so many known names from the community that are doing so well in boxing. So, that must be a really proud moment for you, John.
It was unbelievable. When I see the poster coming out and signing with Sam, signing with Eddie, it's everything I've worked for has just come true, to be honest with you. And yeah, I've trained hard. I would like to say I deserve it, but everything's fell into place, and it's a bit surreal actually. And now it's down to me to put the work in and just prove it to all my loyal fans.
Has there been any talks of when your Matchroom debut is going to be? Has anything been put in place yet? I know it's early at the moment, but have there been any potential dates?
There's been a few talks, obviously with the behind closed doors thing going on, and also when boxing will be back with an audience. But we agreed before I signed with Dazn mainly that we was going to take things slow, and it's sort of developing process for myself. So it's not the end of the world if we don't get out to a bit later on in the year. However, if Eddie says there's an opportunity there, I'll make sure I'm ready.
Brilliant. And what fights were you looking forward to as a fan? Because loads of fights have been postponed now behind closed doors, some of them as well. I think there's still a card happening on June the 9th, isn't there? A top rank one with Shakur Stevenson. What fights were you looking forward to most this year to watch?
This year, I was looking forward to obviously getting. I'd love to have seen, because obviously Joshua's still got to fight Pula, but hopefully I want to see the Joshua Fury. That's another big fight I'd love to see. I know it hasn't been called off because it hasn't been made yet, but we're not sure. With lockdown going on, it might even be brought further forward. And yeah, there was loads, and it was more, even some domestic level fights which I was looking forward to, and it was brilliant.
I mean, one of the fights, me personally, what I was looking forward to seeing, which could have been an absolute animal of a fight, was Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. There was talks that was actually going to be signed up and that was going to be done. How do you think that would have gone? I mean, that for me, it would have been a hard to pick 'em sort of fight. How do you think that fight would have gone down?
I'm thinking the same as you. When I first see that, I think in that division, if there's anyone who can beat Canelo, I do believe Billy Joe's the name. Like I say, I rate Callum Smith, but I do put Billy Joe in front of him, only slightly. And I do think Billy Joe's style, Canelo was in a way, and it will be a good clash because I think Canelo will be landing, Billy Joe will be boxing clever. It will be a great fight. So hopefully Billy Joe gets everything back rolling, license sorted, and he can back up and showcase his skills again, because that will make for, I'm sure, a fight which will be remembered in history.
Yeah. Hopefully that can happen soon, which would be excellent. John, very finally before we go, where can people follow you? Where can we get more of you?
I'm mainly on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So I'm active on all the medias: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Instagram, John Hedges 1. I'm really active on that, so get out there. There's all my fight videos. Really interesting. Twitter's John Hedges _, and then my Facebook's John Hedges.
Brilliant, John. We look forward to seeing you fight very soon. Keep us up to date as well if there's any more progress. And we wish you all the best with your new journey with S-Jam and also Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. Have you got a final message for all the fans?
Yeah, keep up to date with my stuff, guys. It's going to be a big career. I'm a down-to-earth person. I'm Gentleman John. I go by my name, and I'm going to be exciting. So yeah, keep up for my debut and all updates. And I look forward to seeing you all watching.
Thank you, and all the best from the Boxing Voice, John. You take care.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.